Guys, traveling anywhere can be difficult. Eating out at different restaurants in different places, getting foreign foods. I know it's hard, and you always have it in the back of your head that someone that's local is watching you and judging you. Italians have so many unwritten food rules and food etiquette that tourists tend to miss. But I'm gonna give you these 10 simple tips to follow and avoid making the mistakes that many tourists do make in Italy. I'm gonna start you off simple and then we'll move on to the slightly more complicated ones. But the first one I'm giving you here is do not cut spaghetti. And it's not just spaghetti. It's linguine, it's pappardelle, it's tagliatelle. Any pasta that naturally comes long, you should roll on your fork and not cut it. And a really simple way to do that is with the end tooth of your fork, grab 4 or 5 spaghetti at once, move them over to the slanted side of your plate where there is no pasta and start rolling there. This will pull the spaghetti that you have taken with your fork onto it and start rolling them around so that while you're doing that, the whole plate doesn't come with it as well. The mistake that most people make is they stick their fork straight in the middle of the spaghetti and start rolling. That doesn't work. I had to learn this as a kid. Every Italian kid needs to know how to do this at some point, and it kind of comes natural after a while. Just give it a go. Now, while on the topic of pasta, try not to order Parmesan cheese with any sort of seafood. Cheese and seafood generally do not go together in Italy. Of course, this is opinion based. If you like cheese on your seafood, by all means ask for it. It's not a huge deal. But you'll find that it's not generally accepted in Italian cuisine. A lot of the time you'll hear tourists asking for Parmesan cheese on their spaghetti alle vongole, and that just doesn't make sense. It doesn't work. It's not something we do. A general rule of thumb here is if the waiter offers to bring you cheese with your dish, then definitely it's something that you can eat with that cheese. If the waiter doesn't offer it and you have to ask for it, they'll bring it to you, but it usually means that cheese doesn't go with that dish. This one I have slightly stronger feelings for, and it's bad coffee. Mostly because I've never worked in a bar, and by bar I mean a place that serves coffee like a cafe, and I don't really understand how it's possible to mess up coffee this bad. But bad coffee is the #1 factor that will trigger Italians, specifically espresso. Espresso is just a tiny little shot of coffee, and it's the easiest thing to get wrong because if the coffee is bad, that's all you're gonna taste. A cappuccino is watered down with milk, so you can kind of hide the taste of the coffee a little bit. But an espresso, no, you just have to get it right. Quick story, I was up in Manchester and I went to this cafe for breakfast and I got a cappuccino. I'm not this type of person at all, but the coffee was so bad that I thought it was the first one to come out of their machine. Usually the machine takes a while to warm up and you have to go through a few coffees to get the taste right. So I called the waitress and I was like, sorry, this coffee doesn't taste great. I'm assuming it's like one of your first ones of the day. Would you mind trying again? I'll happily pay for it. She was super apologetic. She didn't take it the wrong way at all. I was trying to be extra polite because I feel super bad for sending things back. She brought me the second coffee. I took a sip of it and it tasted exactly the same. When I say I'm usually not dramatic about this kind of stuff, I mean it. I don't send stuff back unless I really have to. And this coffee was so bad that I had to take a picture of it. This happened in January 2016 and I still remember. So just let that sink in. At that point I realized it's your coffee. It's the way you're made. I don't know what it is, but it's just the way that this place makes the coffee. And I just sat back, drank it, got over it. It was fine in the end. Nobody died. It was okay. But if you're ever in the situation of making Italians coffee, try to understand kind of how it's made before you do something. There's very specific ways to make coffees and it shouldn't be tampered with. I mean, why do you think Italy's like the only place in Europe where Starbucks didn't open up until a couple of years ago? It's just so difficult to get coffee right for the Italian palate. And yeah, we're picky. Well, what can I say? We're picky, we're difficult, I'm sorry. Let's go on to number 4. Using cream to make carbonara. If you're putting cream in carbonara, it's not carbonara. And I actually saw something on BuzzFeed last night, which I posted on my Instagram. Follow me to catch me when I'm not posting videos on YouTube. BuzzFeed posted an article about Italian food and they called this like the classic Roman carbonara, and they said it's made with garlic and shallots. Sure, that could be a dish, but don't call it carbonara, and do not call it classic carbonara because it's anything but that. It's fine to experiment, change foods up, add ingredients, get rid of ingredients, but you can't say that it's a classic dish. All this to say, if you're going to Italy and you want to order an Italian dish, it may be different to what you're expecting because a lot of the time abroad, Italian dishes are changed up and given the same name. So if you ask for a pepperoni pizza, you're gonna get a pizza with peppers on it, and that's because that's what you ordered. If you want a pepperoni pizza as is, you need to order a diavola, because that's what that's called. Do a bit of research, and if you can't do that, if you haven't found that specific food, ask the waiter to translate the ingredients for you. They'll happily do that and explain to you what's in the dish. I just want to avoid you guys being surprised and saying, oh, the food wasn't that good because it's not what you expected. Unfortunately, that happens very often because abroad, Italian food is changed in so many ways and people just expect that that's the way it is, when in reality it's absolutely not. Okay, number 5, ice cubes in wine. So when you order wine, absolutely, white wine should be chilled, red wine should be room temperature. The wine should already be cool enough for you to drink. You shouldn't have to do this because it sounds like you don't like it and you're trying to water it down. So just, yeah, I guess just be careful with that one. It can be a bit of a touchy subject. So pasta al dente. Expect pasta to be al dente. And al dente means like, well, harder than you would expect, I guess. Italian pasta manufacturers tend to write a specific amount of minutes on the box for how long you're supposed to leave the pasta in the water. And a lot of people follow that exactly or leave it in the water a little longer, which in Italy you would absolutely not do. Most Italians will take the pasta out 1 or 2 minutes before what is described on the box to have the pasta al dente. Much better to have pasta slightly undercooked than overcooked. Right, now this next one is a classic, and I know a lot of you know this, but pineapple on pizza. It's just not a thing. It's not a thing that we do. It's not a thing we eat. The idea of having something sweet on pizza, which is savory, is kind of strange, and it doesn't really work. I get that some people like it. I can completely understand that, but it's not something you're gonna find in Italy. One thing that is socially acceptable, and I don't know why, is this anomaly of a situation. Kids eat this all the time in Italy, and I'm like, why? But the fact that this is acceptable and pineapple on pizza isn't weirds me out. I don't know, we're weird, okay? It's just the way it is. Avoid it though. Pineapple on pizza, try to avoid that. You probably won't find it anyway, but don't ask for it. Now this next one, I probably shouldn't even have to bring up, but like using ketchup as pasta sauce. I've seen this a lot, and more than I would like to admit. It's something that people do. A lot of kids do it abroad. I'm not really. It doesn't even really taste good, so I don't know why. I'd rather eat the pasta dry, but people do put ketchup in pasta sauce. You probably wouldn't even think to do this. You probably aren't one of those people at all, but just so it's out there, don't ask for that. Ketchup is not meant for pasta. It shouldn't go with pasta. It's not a pasta sauce. I just thought I'd throw that out there and clear it up before somebody does chase you out of a restaurant for asking for it. Now these last two are just flat out weird. I find it strange that we do this, that it's a thing even, but it is, so I'll inform you about it. Peeling fruits. Italians peel fruits. We peel apples, we peel grapes. I've had grapes peeled for me before. I know it's weird. I don't think that's normal. The grapes thing is a bit extreme, but fruits do get peeled, and it's this idea that the skin on fruits is not clean and it's got like pesticides on it, which is not even true. Maybe it was in the past, but peeling fruits is a very common phenomenon which doesn't happen in other countries, or at least not that I know of. You eat your fruits as you want. I'm on your side with this one. I feel like eat an apple with the skin on, like not a big deal. If anything, it'll boost your immune system a little bit. But if you do see Italians peeling fruits, just know that's normal. Even I double take sometimes when I see this because I'm so used to not seeing it anymore. But it's a thing. It's a thing. Now the last one, which pisses me off a lot, and it's gonna piss you off too, you can't order tap water. Italians will not give you tap water. Why? Why? I don't know. Tap water is perfectly clean and safe to drink in Italy, but at a restaurant, they won't give it to you. If they ask for tap water, they'll bring you a bottle of still water that you have to pay for. It's like, why? I'm fine with tap water. Just bring me a jug of tap water to drink. I won't die. It'll be great. And I'm saving myself the €4 that you're charging me for this extra bougie glass water bottle, which you're gonna keep in the end anyway because you're gonna recycle. Like, what's the point? But they don't do it. They don't give you tap water at restaurants, and it drives me crazy. So don't ask for it. They're gonna be weirded out by it. A lot of people have never heard of the idea of serving tap water, so if you ask for water, expect to be charged for it. So if you keep these things in mind, I feel like you're gonna be pretty much golden. Like, you've got your basics down. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to engage people in conversation. Be curious. I think the best thing to do is ask if you're doing something wrong. And if you don't care, go about your life. Nobody can tell you not to eat cheese on fish. Like, if that's what you're into, go for it. I'm not gonna be here to judge you. You're gonna have to live with some looks, but whatever, man. Enjoy it. I do talk about food a lot also on my social media, so Instagram and Twitter. You can follow me on there as well. Obviously, if you got something out of this video, leave me a like and subscribe to my channel. I post all things Italian. Please do check out my merch, which is down below the description. It's got really nice, simple, minimalistic Italian designs that are done by me. I would love it if you check it out. My name is Filco from Filco Films, and I will catch you next week. Thanks for watching, guys. Ciao.